you're hungry. I know you're upset. I'm Joe Riccio, and welcome to Food Coma, My 70s Kitchen, brought to you from My 70s Kitchen. Today, we are going to make Vindaloo. Now, this is a dish that is completely open to interpretation, as it's sort of an amalgamation of 3 different cultures to begin with. So I've decided that it would be a good idea to make it with pork belly and chorizo, so a smoky sausage. So that's how we're gonna roll. Before we get started, I wanna prep the pork belly. This is from Cold Spring Ranch, which is in New Portland, Maine. If you look at it and see how pretty this is, I mean, the fat on this pork belly is like candy. So what I like to do is just sort of actually a Chinese method. If I were to make like Chairman Mao, like the red braised pork belly, I like to blanch it in water with a little bit of ginger just to start. Kind of renders the fat and it gets any impurities out of the meat before we get started. Actually, it lends itself to a really nice, a softer texture on the pork belly, which we're going for. And rendering a little bit of the fat is good because we don't want, you know, this dish is pretty rich as it is, so anything we can do to kind of balance that out. So Vindaloo, this is the result of Portuguese explorers coming to Goa, which is in India, and basically the Christian missionaries, you know, because that's what they do, you know, like to impose their will on everybody else. But in this case, it worked out well. That's why you actually see Vindaloo with pork. You don't see pork really throughout India at all, but because they were Christians in Goa, they were free to use any animal they wanted. This is often made with pork. You see Vindaloo made with lamb, beef, mutton, chicken, I mean, really whatever you want. When it's adapted by the British, it tends to be really, really spicy. We're gonna kind of go half and half. We're gonna put a little bit of the Hindu influence into it. We're gonna use coconut milk. Sometimes people don't use coconut milk in it. Again, there are so many ways to make this. I've just kind of landed on what I like. You know, traditionally they use palm vinegar. Some people use apple cider vinegar, white vinegar. I like malt vinegar. I just think that it lends itself really well to the spice mix that it's gonna go with. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. It's just a lot of flavors that are delicious and we're gonna put them together. So while the pork belly's happening, I'm gonna start by making the spice paste. So in here already, I've got some palm sugar, which is great. You should do yourself a favor and get a tub of palm sugar paste because it makes things taste a little more, it's what they generally use more in Asia than, you know, our brown sugar. Also, it doesn't turn into a brick in the cabinet, which is nice. Imagine that. So I've got some palm sugar in the bowl here. I'm gonna add to that pureed ginger and garlic. So this is a spice blend. So this is turmeric, ginger, cardamom, cumin, fenugreek, mustard seed, and Kashmiri chili powder. So you got kind of a lot going on, and I'm gonna use a liberal amount of it. I find that a lot of people who make kind of Indian food at home and they're always complaining about it doesn't taste like a restaurant, it's usually because they don't use enough seasoning. But there's no shortage of salt in this throwback kitchen, I'll tell you. We have a little white pepper in there. We're gonna do some tomato paste. And then again, like I said, I like malt vinegar for this. I think it's really delicious and it's kind of sweet, you know, so that way you feel like you're eating delicious pier French fries, but you're really having some Vindaloo. Kind of mix this paste up here. Everyone gets to know each other. Pork belly's starting to come up to a boil. As you can see, there's some foam, you know, definitely it's good. And like I said, I put some ginger in the water with the pork belly. And then we can, so look at these beautiful meaty slabs of pork belly here. Now we're gonna cut them up. So another dish I like to make with the pork belly is called, it's red cooked pork belly. It's also referred to as Chairman Mao's because it was his favorite dish. We are starting out with our beloved yet unpredictable burner here. Melting down some ghee. So beautiful ghee, the foundation for all things delicious. Basically ghee is just clarified butter. So masterfully chopped onions going into the ghee here. coat those guys up. If you're ever worried about not having enough ghee, just add more. This guy, you know, has to make his appearance. The director, he's got his big mitt going because he had a little doctor's visit, but we're okay now. Tony, thank you for coming by, because I know you're not going to stop weaving around my legs until I put you on camera for a second. So now you should be happy and you're done. Chris, you love Tony is was it the gaffer? What does Tony do? I don't know.
Floor director.
Floor director. See, I don't know all this production lingo, production slang like everybody uses. It's just flying around me. I had no idea what they're talking about. Anyway, put some pork belly in here. Down here. Come on now. You know, it's funny. Earlier, I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to cook, and I kind of started edging towards Vindaloo. I was like, you know what we should do? We should do Vindaloo, but you got to ratchet it up with this pork belly, you know. Obviously, if you overdo it on the pork belly in this, I would imagine that it might get a little greasy, a little fatty. Not that this fat doesn't taste really good, but I think that's an appropriate amount. And then when we add our sausage, I think that'll be a nice contrast. So now we're going to add our Vindaloo paste. This is going to make the air nice and spicy. Just sort of coat all this guy, coat everybody around here. Integrate. I love food like this that literally, it's like ramen. There's just no rules. I mean, food rules are fine, and it's fun to get bent out of shape at people who break them, but when you have something that's just is left open to interpretation in some ways like this, it's nice. You can sort of just relax, and I don't have to constantly be like, I know this isn't authentic. But if you would like something non-authentic that's absolutely delicious, check out my video with my cashew butter chicken, because that's just what goes to show that you don't always have to follow the rules to come out with something delicious. Okay, so everything's coated up there. I'm going to add our ho-ho nut milk. Roy D. That's my favorite brand. I've taste tested 16 different coconut milks side by side one time because I'm an insane person. And that was my favorite. I'm gonna use some fire roasted tomatoes in here. Fire roasted. That's how you know they're good. And yeah, let's kind of bring this up. The coconut is gonna temper the spice, and it's gonna really go nice, I think, with the vinegar. It smells delicious. Like I said, a lot of Vindaloo does not have coconut milk in it, and that's totally fine. And it tends to be a little spicier, a little more sour. We're going for a slightly sweeter style that I thought would be really nice with the pork and the spicy, smoky sausage. So as this comes up, we're gonna basically let this just kind of simmer for about 35, 40 minutes. And then we're gonna return, and we're gonna add some sausage, and then we're gonna go for 20 minutes, and we're gonna return. We're gonna add the scallions. I'm gonna make some rice. I'm actually gonna make jasmine rice because I felt that that's totally fine. I mean, of course, basmati would probably be what you usually have with this, but I'm making jasmine rice as it is. So, all right, so we're gonna knock the heat down, which on this burner, minimum, I'll be back to check it. We'll put it that way. Okay, so according to both Santa's and Alexa's watch, it's been about 40 minutes here. Let's check on our Vindaloo. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is coming along nicely. It smells fucking delicious. Now we're gonna add our trico sausage. So work that in. This isn't gonna make anything worse. It's a goddamn Christmas miracle. Every day. Every goddamn day. All right. So now the fun part is you get to wait a little bit longer. We're going to let this go for another half an hour with the sausage in there and let that happen. And during this period, you can make your rice. You can go watch stuff. You can go make people watch stuff. There's all kinds of things you can do while this cooks for the final leg. But we're gonna go 30 more minutes, and then we're gonna add some scallions and some more vinegar, serve it over rice, and that's gonna be that. So let's do that. All right, so pork belly had more time to braise here. We have our sausage in. It's looking delicious. I'm happy. Essentially, there's like tomato paste formed around the outside there. We just worked that in. I want to take time to give a shout out to our sponsor, Dunstan Tap Table, who we love. It's out in Scarborough. Definitely need to check it out. Really amazing. Everything from mussels to wings to burgers. I mean, solid menu. Delicious food. You know, we only endorse places that we love. So, Dunstan Tap and Table, right on your way to Funtown, because Funtown's going to open soon, you know? If you're watching this, it's springtime. We're going to finish this by tossing in our scallions. Put those in, like, Just squeeze some lime. All about the acid to balance out how rich this is. It's all kind of technically a curry, right? I mean, you know, curry's a pretty blanket term, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna plate us up some of this here. See the chunks of pork belly. Those with the sausage there. Nice pretty bowl from Edge Compotter. The blue, nice contrast with how angry and red this is. So here we have it. We have our pork belly and chorizo vindaloo. As I said, it's a Indian dish with a Portuguese influence, also a little Britishized as well, if that's a word. Salt and pepper. Nice soft piece of pork belly here. That's the fat is like candy. It's delicious. Just the right amount of give to it. Try a little of the smoky sausage here. Yeah, but a little ain't enough. I'm not afraid to tinker around. I'm gonna be eating this. It's important to dial your food in before you go sit in front of your computer and start watching World War II documentaries that you've already seen 30 times. Now it's done. So, hopefully you'll go on and you'll discover your own version of Vindaloo. Like I said, any meat, coconut, no coconut, whatever kind of tomatoes you want to roll with. This is your journey. This is just how I take it, and I hope you like it. I'm Joe Riccio, and this is Coma, my 70s kitchen. If you like what you saw today, check out our Patreon at Coma Podcast. We have 3 different tiers of membership. Basically, this goes towards production costs. We're always adding new content. We have a bunch of new shows, exciting new shows coming up. Patreon members get to see those first before anybody else. Not expensive. Go check it out. Like I said, Patreon, Coma Podcast. If you're on YouTube, watch this video, like and subscribe. We'd love to have you here, and we'll see you soon.